Bayless has pioneered that he is the greatest hater of this toxic age of judging the hell out of the athletes. Hey, LeBron, yeah, second place all time. You choker. He is the face of this, and what he has decided to do, and this part's fascinating to me. Every athlete he's been killing and crushing for 20 years sits next to him now, and they want the mic, and they want the ball. Michael Irvin's in trouble. Michael Irvin's competitive. That's 3 generations of the loudest loudmouth in football. 3 of them. Keyshawn, Richard Sherman, and Michael Irvin. Holy Skip, they're going to take your show.
I don't know what's going on with the Undisputed and First Take and Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, and it just seems like they're constantly fighting for power or authority. I'm not even sure how much longer the debate shows can even continue to go on. At some point, many of us are becoming quite tired with just seeing grown men sit up on a stage and scream at each other. It's not for me. I'm not interested in having somebody scream their opinion at me. But what Dan Le Batard had to say in that segment, I have to agree. You're sitting there with 3 alpha males. You're sitting there with Richard Sherman, Michael Irvin, and Keyshawn Johnson, and you've been reduced to basically a moderator. You're the Molly Curran of Undisputed. You're no longer the head honcho. These guys are going to take your show. That's no doubt. That's going to happen. You're a 71-year-old man running with these young bucks, and it's not going to be long where the FS1 execs are going to look down at the numbers and go, why are we paying Skip Bayless? Well, I understand he started this, but these 3 guys work for us. So if the contract with Keyshawn, Michael Irvin, who they stole from ESPN because ESPN was stupid, and Richard Sherman, if those 3 guys are in the contract with FS1, they're going to just use them at someplace else, do a different show. Hey, Skip, take this Undisputed crap and shove it. You're the Molly Curran of FS1 right now. You're no longer Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. You're just a guy sitting there with the clipboard giving up the topics and moderating and having to raise your hand when it's time for you to talk. I don't know how long that kind of show can succeed. You've got 3 basically Hall of Fame players sitting on a desk panel with you who know more, way more, than you could even think to know. And they're going to have conversations that you can't even interject into. They're going to talk about things that you can only write about. You've never experienced it. They're going to talk about things that are going to leave you looking like Molly Curran. You have no basis to be in the conversation. So although it's great that you brought on Rachel Nichols and now Josina Anderson, that's fine. They're from your media world. You guys can talk the same lingo and they'll look up to you. But Keyshawn, Michael Irvin, and Richard Sherman, they don't need Skip Bayless. And it won't be long before people find out. Listen to what Jason Whitlock says about that right here.
The issue that Le Batard's getting at, that I agree with, and I'm arguing, he's the least interesting person on his show. By far. I saw a clip of them talking about receivers catching the ball with their hands or catching it with their bodies, and Richard Sherman got in an argument with Michael Irvin and Keyshawn about it. And I'm telling you, and it sounds trivial, but I was like, man, this is interesting. Look at these great players argue about this, and I was sitting there like, oh, I can't wait to see what this person said. It was fascinating. And the one thing I wanted, and it ran across my mind, is like, man, I hope Skip don't jump in here and say anything. Because I was just thinking that, because and it's not some animus I had towards Skip. It's just like, what does he know in comparison to this trio about what they're arguing about? And I can't find this kind of conversation on sports TV anymore. Everything, someone's racist or everything is, and so it was just fun watching NFL players have a passionate discussion about something in football. And it was the first time I was like, whoa, Skip's irrelevant on his own show.
So it's kind of obvious at this point that something is going on with the debate show format. Stephen A. Smith is doing his own thing with the podcast. It's probably doing better numbers than First Take. Skip Bayless over here with these three guys is about to just lose control of his show and have these guys take over. They don't need to pay Skip Bayless $8, $9, $10 million a year. They can put a pretty face like Molly and have somebody moderate these three guys and give them the money. This isn't going to bode well for Skip Bayless. I don't know where it's going, but I don't know if this was a smart idea. And I think what's going to happen, number one, I don't think these debate shows have a long lifespan. I think people are over it. They'd like a higher, more intelligent conversation than somebody screaming at them. I think Stephen A is going to find out that he's able to do much more on his own podcast. He's not restricted to just talking about these topics. If you've seen his podcast, he's talking about everything. I think he's trying to get a late night gig or something, but he's just not in the sports lane, which is fine. I actually enjoy some of his takes that aren't sports related. I enjoy some of his takes that are political. I enjoy hearing that kind of discussion. Undisputed, not so much, man. Skip Bayless, I think you're an antique. I think at this point, what you've done is put together a great nucleus. I think Keyshawn, Richard Sherman, and Michael Irvin are going to do great things. I just don't think they need you long term. Let me know what you guys think. Number one, are you tired of the debate shows? And number two, do you think that Richard, Michael, and Keyshawn are basically going to relegate Skip Bayless to a Molly Qerim type role? Let me know what you think.